Morgan, I want to talk to you. How are campaigns adjusting during this COVID-19 process? What are they doing to get their message out?
Well, I got to tell you, Mark, I mean, as we know, the coronavirus has fundamentally altered every single aspect of our daily lives. And the election process is no different. But it is especially, it's challenging for every individual in this country right now, but it is especially challenging for candidates who need to talk to voters. I mean, think about it. Events, meetings, gatherings, all canceled. Fundraising has become more difficult. The coronavirus has consumed every message frame of every campaign. And frankly, if you're not the governor and you're not the president, it's harder and harder to get news coverage for any candidate or any elected official on the ballot. The access to voters, the ability to press the flesh, which all politicians crave, at an all-time low. And listen, the way voters are going to cast ballots and the way the elections are going to be run are going to be fundamentally different. There's also the additional concern that you hear a lot of health experts, including Dr. Fauci, that we may have a possible resurgence of COVID this fall. And what does that mean for these campaigns? What does that mean for voters? So as we talked about, no campaign rallies. I mean, imagine a campaign that potentially, a campaign season that has no major rallies, that has no in-person gatherings. One of the key components of elections is knocking on doors and having volunteers and campaign workers meet voters where they are in their homes. We can't do that, at least in the near term. And when we are able to resume that, I think that's going to be very different. You see, smart campaigns are all moving digital. It's about how you communicate with voters. It's how you communicate with voters and your supporters. You do Facebook Live. You are Zooming. You're Skyping. You're in meetings with, we talk about party conventions and things like that, the big gatherings. The Democratic Party just had their 100 county party conventions this weekend, and 90 of them were all online in a Zoom or Skype type atmosphere. What we will see from this is political ad spending that'll go through the roof, because that's what you.
Morgan, let me ask you this. I want to move on to Mitch, but before I do, does this work for incumbents, the politics of the COVID-19?
I think it really depends on the incumbents. We saw this week a WRAL poll that came out that said the other big impact of coronavirus is incumbents like the governor and the president. How that is such a filter on how they view elected officials. 70% of voters in North Carolina say that Donald Trump's handling on the coronavirus will impact whether they vote for him, while nearly 75% of Governor Cooper's. This same poll showed Cooper with a large lead because he's had high marks for handling. But the president's starting to slip. It showed him as down 5 points to Biden in North Carolina. And I think, frankly, it's a lot of these erratic press conferences that are starting to weigh in on him.